Hey, happy Thursday, everybody. This is your coach here, Coach's Call on Tap. This is Coach's Call Chalk Talk. I have got a very special guest. Not only is he a special guest, he's a damn good friend of mine. Coach John Jennings is with us today in the house. Thank you for being here, John. And we got Tristan Dunn. Guys, we're going to change gears here a little bit. We're going to kind of bounce around some ideas, look at football just a little bit different. Get some background from Coach. He's coached from Division I, Division II, Division III, JUCO ball. We coached together at high school ball. He's still getting after it, consulting, and he's going to get back in it, I know, soon enough. But, Coach, welcome on the show. Appreciate you being here, buddy. Missed you. Glad you're here. So tell me, we just got to start with what everybody wants to know. We love the man, sorely missed. He was probably one of the greats. You did work under Coach Leach. Can you just give us a little background, kind of like, are the stories true? Was he that funny? Was he the black coffee drinker, pouring it on the ants, walking outside, pirates, all that stuff?
Yeah, absolutely. And thanks for having me, by the way, both you guys. Yeah, he was definitely an interesting character, and all that stuff that you see on, 60 Minutes and so forth, that's all true. All that stuff in his book, Swing Your Sword, and he just was a eccentric, weird, but very, very funny dude with a lot of charisma that you would gravitate towards, because he just had that something about, he had the intangible, right? He's very, very interesting. You'd sit in a staff meeting and you would think, okay, we're sitting up for an hour staff meeting. Well, that hour, right? It's going to be 55% football, right? No. 25% football. And it was random stuff for 30, 35 minutes. And, as a young coach, I obviously was very entertained by it. But the older coaches sometimes got irritated. Yeah. We got other stuff to do. We got other shit to do. I don't know if I can curse on here, but
you can.
Anyway, long story short, very interesting dude. Glad I worked for him. I got to spend 5.5 years with him, and
this is a Texas Tech, right?
Yeah, Texas Tech. So I was very blessed, and then he helped me get my next job, and was always my lead reference before he passed. So I have a lot of respect for him, and a lot of still grieving, really.
Yeah, I got you. Tristan, you got anything for old Coach here?
No, I mean, not on the Mike Leach stance. I mean, did you ever get to go to, did you ever just call him up and go to a game?
Oh, you mean like at
just
Washington State or Mississippi?
Yeah, just anywhere.
Well, I was usually coaching, so it was very hard for me to do that. Now, I did get bowl game tickets when we were in San Diego. When I was coaching junior college there in San Diego, they played at the Pacific Life Holiday Bowl. Washington State did, and I got tickets for that. But other than that, no, just because I was in my own world.
I got you. Right? Cool.
Well, staying in that college level thing, I got to get your take on Michigan. I've never been a big Harbaugh guy. Never been big on Michigan or the Big Ten. But we both coached ball. We know what it's about. Stealing signals, stealing. It's funny. It's funny. I know it's hilarious that it's gotten to this point. But this psycho stallion guy would dress up like an opposing coach, stand on the sideline, stuff like that. They imposed a three-game suspension on Harbaugh that he took. What do you think about all this bullshit, man? I mean, is there any place for this in ball? Would we be wasting our time? Is this a witch hunt? What do you think?
It's a witch. I mean, everybody does it. Hell, I did it last week. I literally did it last week. I didn't film it, but I sit and watched the guy live, and I'm a consultant for someone this year. I'm not going to say on air, but I sat in the box and literally told them the calls that they were checking too. Every time they go check with me, right? They go to the line, we're going to play, look to the sideline, check with me. I'm like, oh, he checked to a screen. Oh, he checked his stretch. Oh, he checked the RPO. His trip should be the curl inside. So we're checking our defense to fit what he just signaled. It happens all the time. Just some people are freaking too stupid and arrogant not to change their signals. Like if you're smart, the smart coaches, especially offensively, which Rick and I coach defense, so we're way smarter than the offensive coach.
Always.
But secondly, like change your signals, man. Like every 2 games, I don't know. Or mix them, right? Turn the pass ones into run, the screen ones into pass.
Like don't look at your receiver and go, "Oh, we all know that's a hook."
Yeah, literally, this was hitch for this guy. They're all running hitches, literally.
Yeah, what is it? Post is like this.
Yeah, and he would go anytime they were running switch routes. He would do this. Switch routes, like bro, like I know.
I said the same thing. I thought it was just BS, but it's the way this guy went about it. I really think I'd like.
It was overboard. Yeah.
Yeah, he went overboard, but I'd like to have that guy at A&M. To be honest with you,
I take him in my staff
any day of the week, dude. That guy will go above and beyond, and that's what
with his dissertation and
600 page manuscript.
Is that what it was?
600 pages, dude. I don't think I've ever read 600 pages of anything combined in my life. But
a maniac.
Yeah,
that's not surprising. Go ahead.
He's a psych. Hey, calm down over there. Again, this is a friendly show. All right. Well, let's get the elephant. Get the elephant out of the room, or what do you say? Jimbo's gone. Bye, Jimbo. I'm sure he's heartbroken. He's getting paid $30 million in 2 months, and then next year he's getting paid like $19 million, and then every year after that is $7.4 million for like the next 7 years or something like that.
So am I the only one that was shocked after that? Like I figured he'd get fired at the end of the year, but didn't y'all go in and like have a blowout win and then they just turn around and fired his ass?
No, well, dude, if you go back to our last Thursday's podcast, I told you on the College Pick'em show that the board was meeting, the regents were meeting. That was the whisper around College Station. There was going to be a shakeup, and I said, don't be surprised if he's gone by Sunday. Because that's what we heard. I mean, I'm on TexAgs and all that stuff, which is, just a big forum and read up on it. But, that was the word. And sure enough, of course, after that win, I thought, well, maybe they'll hold off, but they had already made up their mind. And I think they've already got somebody picked and chose. I mean, to throw $76 million out there, I don't know. John, what do you think would be a good fit for A&M? You know a bunch of coaches out there. You follow these guys. What do you think would be a good fit for us?
Honestly?
Yeah.
It's not flashy, but Jeff Traylor.
UTSA.
Jeff Traylor at UTSA. So look what he's done with that program and the amount of time that he's had them. And they had a rough start this year, but now they're finding a way to win. If they win this week, they play for a conference title. Win the conference title. I mean,
young dude too.
Who's done more with less?
A young dude too, isn't he?
Yeah, relatively. I mean, early 40s.
Now, you said you brought up Cliff before we started the podcast.
Yeah, because I advertised the Cliff. Yeah,
I wouldn't mind Cliff if he can find me a Manziel to come with him.
Yeah, I don't know that he wants to be the figurehead of something that big again. I think he's liking the role that he's at USC, but I think also he would like to run his own offense. Yeah. So I don't know. I'm not close enough to Cliff to know like what he's thinking or. Not nor would he tell you, right? I mean, only him and his agent going to have that conversation.
Yeah.
But I'm sure he's looking into it. He's got to be, right? And then y'all go ahead, and there's another one I'll come up with in a minute.
So
who do you want? Coach, who do you want? You got to know. Yeah, you got to want somebody.
Yeah, I want Nick Saban.
Okay.
I mean,
okay. Realistically, who do you want?
Realistically, and this isn't even realistic because he won't move. But Dan Lanning at Oregon, dude, is a man. But dude, we've got the money, but we don't. They have what we have. I mean, they have what we have. Plus
Oregon's the real deal, bro.
Yeah,
I've been telling
he said himself in his press conference, dude. They want me because we've got something
special.
He
squashed that out.
Yeah,
he squashed. Yeah,
that's why he said that.
Yeah.
I didn't hear it. I'd love that. But they said that we've got somebody already coming in that we're not going to believe.
Heard it,
yeah. Well, you're fired. Here's $17 million. And what do you say? What time you want me out, and where's the door? I love it. Come on. They showed that was a picture on Twitter of him last week. He was like in Cozumel or something, tanned up with a beer in one hand and like 15 girls in the other. It was amazing, dude. I love that
Or
guy.
he's doing some shirt for like some kind of construction people with his shirt off and shit.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it, but
Yeah, he's a Burt Kreischer of
good for
college
him.
football.
Good for him.
Oh, he's a great guy. Well, let's switch gears, man.
So
Go ahead.
before we go, who I've yet to meet here, but Elko, baby.
Elko, yeah.
That's another one.
The Fighting Elkos. Well, he was with
Elko
us.
could be another one.
Dude, he was the one that brought back
great defense.
the wrecking crew. Like, we forgot Texas A&M was not a defensive school for a couple of years, and he brought it back. He's a good one. No nonsense kind of guy, defensive minded, which I think is what you need to be around here. Offense will get you to a certain spot, but I think defense is where it's at the SEC,
especially in the SEC.
Yeah, I mean, Kiffin does a great job, and I love Lane. I'm a big Lane Kiffin fan just because he's a great character to have. But you need more than 500 yards a game and 42 points. You need to stop somebody at some point in time. And so I think, yeah, Elko's another good one. Yeah, that's right.
I have a question for JJ.
Yeah, go ahead.
What is your favorite defense to run?
That's a very hard question, Scott. So I've started to morph. I evolve as things evolve, right? Elko, I picked a lot of stuff up from when he was at A&M, especially like just being able to manipulate protections and so forth. But I get off topic here, but so like I really like, if you have the right personnel, what they've evolved to, which is called a 3-3 robber. It's very similar to what Z and I ran with the stack, but it's not the stack. It's a little bit different. It's more gap controlled, but you have 3 high safeties, and you're able to invert those safeties, change the looks up top. A quarterback through his lifetime and his 4th grade to his 12th grade year is taught, 1 high, 2 high, right?
Yeah.
What does that look like? Well, now there's 3 high. So what are you going to do with that? If you can play that on first down and you can play that on second and whatever, right? Short yardage, right? You got to get out of it. You got to get into a bigger front, so forth, add more people to the box. But I really like the way that was going. I have a friend that was at Delaware. He's now the DC at VMI. But long story short, they were really good. They were one of the top defenses in FCS at Delaware, and he was running it. There's some schools in Dallas, like Denton Guy, are very, very, very good at it and play very, very good defense. But you've got to have the people. So if you don't have those, especially that middle safety, that monster safety, cat safety, if he's not the dude on the field, your best athlete, right, that can play it, and you don't have a good nickel star, right, down here that can off and on, right, and those safeties in their ability to invert and give different looks from the 3rd to the 2nd level or 2nd to the 3rd, and what coach used to call spinning or disguising the coverages, right? Pretty much effing them on the coverage, right? We used to be really good at that.
Yeah, we used to mask it. We used to mask it or bar it.
Yeah, mask it. That's what you used to say. Yeah. But so, like, I think it gives you the ability to mask more things. It gives you the ability to give a look that is just not conventional, and gives those quarterbacks fits. So I like it personally. Iowa State, right? They are the ones known for being the bigger team that started that trend. But other defenses have evolved, especially on 3rd down.
Well, I think, wasn't it, correct me if I'm wrong, but we were on Colorado real early, Tristan, remember that? We were all gung-ho Colorado, and then they got to Nebraska, and Nebraska was the first team that ran a 3-man front on them, and that really shook up Shador. Now, I don't know if it was that robber you were talking about or just the stack defense or what it was, but I know that gave him fits. Against Nebraska,
because now it's all middle field closed, but it's not true middle field closed anymore. So it does, and then there's also the evolution of the 4 eyes and what you do there as far as technique with lagging the nose, lagging the 4 eyes. What Dave Aranda does,
yeah,
did at Baylor, or hopefully will continue to do at Baylor.
Or he used to do really well at Baylor.
Yeah, well, he did really well at LSU. Let's put it that way. And other places he's been, but it's hard to be a head coach and drive the bus sometimes.
Yeah. Does any of that make sense, Tristan?
Look, yes, I do know.
Clear as mud, right?
Clear as mud. I wish we had a grease board. I should have
I
thought
can
of it.
illustrate a lot of it.
Yeah, we should have had a grease board to look at it. But
Okay, one last personal coaching question. Unless I come
Sure.
up with another one. How much did Coach Z like to blitz?
Let's say out of 10 plays, I'd go 8.5, 8.2, 8.25.
yeah,
On a lower 8, 7.75.
you got to put pressure. You got to put pressure on these guys.
It depends on the down.
Coach like to
distance,
bring
but
the
a lot.
house.
So here's how it worked, Tristan. So
Oh, talk about nerve wracking for me, by the way. Put me in the worst position
I
ever.
mean, all right, he wanted to be, he wants to, let's do this. I would call the front, and I would call the stunt and the blitz. So my front was always moving. We were at 3-man front, and then always moving the 3-man front. I had 3 linebackers and what we called, our robber. So basically 4 linebackers. So I was able to blitz 1, 2, 3, 4 linebackers, 3 linebackers, 2 linebackers, whatever it was. Well, he had to fix me in the back. He had to make sure whatever I did up front
in a second and a half, mind you,
because I'm as soon as the offense lined up, now I'm calling and he's just watching, going, "Oh shit! All right, 3-1-0, man." So he had to correct me in the back, and there's plenty of times where he'd come to me and go, "Fuck, coach, you can't do that. I don't have enough guys over here." So we just get lucky sometimes.
All right, he'd be like, "Fuck the peel guy. We don't need a peel guy. We don't need nobody to cover that running back. He's gonna have to stay in, or we're gonna just tattoo the quarterback." And he was right most of the time, half the time, more than half the time.
Yeah, we had a pretty good squad, man. I mean,
we had a really, really talented team.
You could do.
They were well coached.
Yeah, but it's a lot easier when you have really good athletes, man. And we were blessed with that at Giddings. Shout out Giddings America. We still love you. Well, let's switch gears, man, a little bit. You're back. You're on the Discord with us now, and checking out some games.
It's my first year on the Discord. It's been fun.
You're starting to cap some games. You're starting to give your feedback on
Kansas. I called it
certain things.
I told you.
We all have our different ways of capping or looking at games, breaking it down. What do you look at?
Oh,
man?
I'm not near as professional as you guys are.
Oh no, we're not professional at all. We're not professional at all.
I just look at like stats and just, okay, where are they at overall defense first? Okay, well, I know this team runs. Well, how good is that team's run defense? Are they at home? What time of day are they at home? Because if you're a night game and it's the SEC, well, F that. Yeah, good luck, because it's going to be a mother, right? But if it's 11 o'clock, it's a different world. I just look at things like that, and like there's momentum, right? So there's teams with momentum. Like Maryland had a lot of momentum to start. Now they're, there's multiple teams you could point to, right? The Bills, but I just looking at momentum, looking at chemistry, looking at who's available, right? Injury reports, which are a lot harder in college, obviously, than NFL, but just things like that, just comparisons. Like, how do they match up? Who are they going to try to put their stud receiver on, and how does he match up versus their best DB, because when they get that one-on-one, there's explosive plays there that can exist. And I don't know. I just look at it that way. And I just, like I said, there's really not a science to it. I wish there had some kind of magic share with everyone.
There is a magic potion. It's called a primetime under in the NFL.
Primetime under on it tonight, baby. Yes, sir.
That's just a good look, man. It really is.
Thanks, Coach Z.
And people still don't. They still
5 in a row so far.
I was on TikTok today, Tristan, and these cappers, these pro cappers, they do the live, and they're sitting there giving advice. And what do you think? And I went on about 3 of them. I'm like, hey, primetime under, don't worry about it. They're like, well, yeah, it hits at a 60% clip. Good luck with that. That's really not. I'm like, are you really serious, guys? Y'all don't really look at these games. I mean, come on, man. That's like it's like 15-0 so far. So now those are trends. I like trends in the NFL because I just think it's all fake, and we try to read the script there. And Tristan hates
I like watching it, and I hate betting on it.
Oh my gosh. Dude, so we were at, just to put it in perspective, Tristan, we were at a 3A high school,
which is now 4A.
Which is now 4A. They just moved it up one. It's like a middle of the road sized high school in Texas. But there'd be games where we'd be sitting there and there'd be 3-4 Division I players on the field. I mean, just athletes.
Easily.
And then, you look up in the stands and there's, 10, 12,000 people in the bleachers, on a road game. I mean, it was a big, it was a fun deal, especially
great environment,
especially our little district over here. And then we go into East Texas where Oklahoma gets a lot of their guys from, West Orange, Stark, and Carthage and stuff like that. But, dude, we had a damn good time. I miss those days, man. Those were like, everybody always asks, would you ever get back in it? I'm like, man, I think I would if it was the right place with the right guys. Like, it's just, to get back in it by yourself would be tough. And then the kids these
I
days
see
are
that
great.
look JJ's giving you right now. He's like, I got an idea.
Yeah, got an idea. Let's buy a
We're
team.
gonna after this podcast goes off, we're gonna talk.
We're gonna buy a team.
Well, I get the right job. We will talk. Now, I won't be the first person to turn down. I mean, he's turned down the people in Waco. Let's put it that way.
Oh man. Well, yeah. And for now it's a good thing. But you got any questions for us, man? I know you started listening to the podcast stuff. We just have a lot of fun. You got any questions for us as far as what we do and why we're doing it?
Yeah, so it's the same question to you guys. So what do you look at? I mean, what's your thought process when you're trying to pick a game, whether it's over under, whether it's spread or it's whatever?
Tristan, go ahead.
Non-prop bets. Non-prop bets.
Are you good? Okay. Well, I'll start. College is that's my baby. Because I watch it a lot, and it's more of like what we're used to. We're used to coaching those kids. We're more in tune with those kids. I never coached the kid that made $3 million a game, so
Right.
I don't know what it's like to coach a kid that makes more money than me. So I know what it feels like. For instance, 2 weeks ago, they were all over Dabo and Clemson, and they were done, and then Clemson had this great game. And you can see the emotion coming out of Dabo and his kids. Well, all week Dabo poured his heart and soul into those kids, and his kids bought into what he was preaching, and they came out and they just beat the shit out of this team. And so a lot of mine goes on feel, and what happened last week, what happened the week before that, where are they going, what are they doing? The Kentucky. I think I called a couple of Kentucky upsets this year. I look at those things. There's just certain, you could see a Lane Kiffin going into an Alabama going, Lane knows he's not, you could tell by his interviews, stuff like that. I really don't get into numbers. It's more of that feel.
Trends.
It's more of what they're doing. And then the number. I mean, it's hard to cover a double digit spread in conference. Unless it is, a Vanderbilt against an Alabama. But then again, if Alabama has the Iron Bowl next week, they might overlook Vanderbilt and you might get the cover. So it's kind of those things that I'm looking at, that I look at. And then the players and how they're developed. I think Milroe, I think if he hadn't lost to Texas, I think Milroe would win the Heisman. I think Milroe's playing some great.
He is legit.
Great football right now.
He's maturing.
Yeah, and they've changed the offense at Alabama to let him throw. And this is something that me and you talked about before. And I know I talked to Tristan about this last night in the NFL. Instead of making him do what they want him to do, they're giving him a couple of choices, and you could just go play football. Remember that used to be our mantra on defense with our kids at Giddings. I'm going to teach you 2 or 3 things, and then just go run to the ball and get there in a bad mood. Just, I don't give a shit. But we're going to simple it down, make it real simplistic to where we're going to allow you to play football and be the freaking athlete that you are. And I think that's where Milroe's going. And I'm a big fan of that. And so that's kind of what I look like. or look at in college ball, and then in the pros, I look for trends and streaks. I mean that's pretty.
NFL's different beast.
Yeah. What about you, Tristan?
All right, am I good now? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, cool. So for me, it depends on the sport. I definitely bet a little bit of everything. If you ever see me bet an NBA play, don't tell me. Just don't. I'm probably just betting it for fun and just because I like watching it. Now when we move into like tennis and we move into like NFL, that's my bright spots. Tennis, I don't know what it is, man. It's my favorite fucking sport to bet on.
Strange.
Right?
I mean,
But
I
I
like
do,
tennis.
but I do well at it. I the other day, like I called center beating Djokovic in the final, and I mean it's crazy. So tennis is pretty easy as long as you're watching it. Tennis is a very hard sport to bet on. Like let's say you take 2 months off from betting and you don't bet tennis, and then you just try to bet one day, like just by looking at a board, you're gonna do pretty bad, probably, if I had to guess. You got to know what kind of form these guys are in, what quality of matches they've played lately, and then the NFL. I mean, I've been watching it since I was probably 5 years old. I mean, I watch every season. I don't just watch the Panthers. I watch all of it, and yeah, it might be a feel at this point, like Coach was saying about like college ball, because he's done it his whole life. But I mean, I can look at an NFL game and I can almost pinpoint how it's going to happen. Of course, I'm not right all the time. Nobody is. But I mean, I do pretty well with NFL betting too.
And
Coach,
then
Coach can tell you about my Giants calling like week 3.
dude, what were they down 21-0 at halftime?
Yeah,
28-0?
to the Cardinals.
The Cardinals were up 21 or 28-0 to the Giants at halftime. This guy said the Giants are going to come back and win. He put 100. Would you put $100 or
It was like
100?
150 to win 1,000.
Yeah, he put $150 on the money line to win like 1,000 or a little over 1,000, and these jokers came back and won. It was like the oracle has spoken over here. But no, you got guys like Donnie, who's not here. He's in Vegas right now. Donnie has got 5 screens with nothing but stats.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm more objective like that.
He's the stat guy, and he'll look at. He's more of a. He tries to be sharp against the public. He'll look at the money coming in, the line movements, reverse
And then
line
go
movements.
opposite.
Yeah, and he'll go opposite. And in doing that, dude, when you're hot, you're hot. When you're not, it'll cost you a mortgage payment. But Donnie's big.
Yeah,
Donnie's big on that on those stats, man. And then then we got our other guys, Kyle and Puff. They're knee deep in basketball, but those guys know every kid that came through the transfer portal this year, and that went to anywhere from Delaware, New Hampshire to USC to Alabama to Florida State. I don't know how the hell they did it, but they can tell you everything back and forth. So, yeah, we got a pretty good little team here, and then we got some smart asses in the Discord that help from time to time.
So Tristan, you do feel like that you can feel it like Z with NFL
Yes.
script, the whole deal.
Yeah, I mean, I don't believe it's rigged. Coach obviously disagrees. I don't know how you feel about it, but I mean,
kind of 50-50 with it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely questionable things that happen, but I can pick out questionable shit that happens in college too. So, it's not all, roses in college football, but yeah, I feel like I can I didn't even bet this last Sunday, but I did really well giving plays to like YouTube shorts and stuff. It was really annoying, if I'm gonna be honest.
If you don't think it's rigged, it came out today. There's 4 or 5 guys that are now under indictment or something for rigging tennis.
Yeah, you saw that?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
They got it. They got him. Now it's important to note that it was extremely low ranking tennis players. Like we're talking 992nd in the world, but they got involved with a gambling syndicate and they were rigging matches.
Okay, so I don't care if you're number 990 in the world or if you're number 9 in the world. If I'm going to bet 10 grand, 10 grand is 10 grand, whether it's 990 in the world or number 9 in the world, right?
Yeah, you're right.
It's just the way it is, man. That's the way it is.
Well, it's gonna get even more questionable with because yesterday ESPN launched their sports book, ESPN Bet. And that's like, yeah. And then I've been seeing a lot of talk how Sports Center pretty much became the biggest gambling talk show in the world.
Well, yeah, that's why Dave got rid of his, and they bought it back for $1.
Yeah.
ESPN wanted all of that.
Yep.
You know, and Barstools was taking over, and so he bought it back. He sold it for $400 million and bought it back for $1. So yeah, because ESPN's going to be all in that shit.
Mickey's greedy.
I mean, you gotta. That's just the way it is, man. You just can't stop people from drinking, smoking, or betting. They're going to do it because they're going to do it.
Sometimes JJ with like the NFL, you have to like try to think ahead too when betting. Like I do. That's what I do. Like I think tonight, I think the Bengals win because it then creates an opportunity for the playoffs for the AFC North to become the first division to have every team make the playoffs. And that's some shit the NFL would fucking love. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, well, I mean, go ahead.
I'm just saying, well, who the hell wants to watch, the Browns and the Cardinals in a Super Bowl? Nobody.
The Browns fans do. I promise you they do.
Yeah, all fucking 30,000 of them. I mean, shit, we used to have that in our high school game.
You're so disrespectful.
Screw that
Not
shit.
gonna happen with Massage Boy down.
Yeah, they're toast.
They're done now.
But yeah, that's why they're not gonna. I mean, it wouldn't happen, man. That's what's rigged. I'm telling you.
Oh, we're getting a Chiefs Cowboys Super Bowl this year. I'm telling you now.
I heard you say that the other day. That's interesting.
I really
being a
believe
Cowboys fan or being a secondary Cowboys fan. Rephrase that. They just disappoint. They're gonna find a way to screw it. They'll make the playoffs, and they probably won't make it past the first round. They do make it to the second round, they'll get beat.
The thing,
it doesn't matter what happens.
The thing is, though,
defense will be able to save them. They'll score 7 points.
The thing is, though,
14-7.
We are grossly overdue for a Cowboys playoff run. Grossly overdue. Like it's been overdue for a long time, and America, the internet would explode if the Cowboys went to the Super Bowl. Not even win it.
Being the Niners.
I do. I think the Niners are weaker than people realize.
Not when they're healthy. I disagree, but respectfully.
Yeah.
Oh, you can disagree. That was the most. That was the most. That was the most respectful disagree I've had on this show.
All right, I want to finish with this.
Wait, I have more questions.
Okay, you ask your questions because I'm going to ask him for the 4 playoff teams in college.
Oh, good Lord!
And I've got a conference question too. Go ahead, Tristan. You first.
Okay. It's an NFL question. It's about the Panthers, but it's coaching related.
Ooh, I'm not a Panthers guru, but go ahead.
Are you familiar with Frank Reich?
A little bit.
Well, I guess if I don't know how well this will go, I'll try my best. So I've been a Panthers fan my whole life. We went through a long tenure with John Fox, did all right, went to a Super Bowl, lost. Then Ron Rivera comes in. I think Ron Rivera is an average head coach. When he's good, he's really good. He's won 2 Coach of the Years. But when Ron's bad, he's really fucking bad. And I'm one to believe in the NFL, coaching does matter. I mean, it matters on all levels, but in the NFL, it'll make or break an entire season. And I feel like this year with the Panthers, it's completely fucking broke them. And I guess the question would be, what would you do different if you were in Frank's shoes?
Good Lord.
That's a lot to unpack, ain't it?
I would have to I'll just be honest. I'd have to do more research and look into.
That's fine.
I'd have to take a deep dive to give you a legitimate answer instead of a bullshit answer. Because right now I'd just be giving you a bullshit answer.
That's fine. I'd rather that answer. But see, like during the offseason, they pitched this to the fans, that they were building an all-star coaching staff.
Right.
And
right.
now you're sitting at fucking 1-8, and
Yeah.
and
No,
it's ridiculous.
yeah. They need to move on.
That's
That
what
didn't
I
work. That
agree.
didn't work. Yeah, that didn't work.
We're gonna get Bill Belichick and go win a Super Bowl. Okay, go ahead, Coach.
You better get a quarterback.
Wow, you better go get Tom Brady. All right, question one. Rank the conferences as far as strength as you're concerned. As far as you're concerned, as far as strength, you got the ACC, the SEC, the Big 12, Pac-12, Big 10. How would you rank those teams?
The conferences.
Yeah, those conferences.
It's the SEC for sure. That's number one. Second, I'd go Big 10, and then really third's a toss up. I don't know between the three of them.
Yeah.
The Pac-12 disrespect.
And I just don't believe in them. I don't believe in the. I could see the Longhorns just screwing it up this week at Iowa State.
Yeah.
Like I've been there at 7:00. I've played in that stadium, and it's a hard place to play at night. I just have flashbacks of Seneca Wallace running all over the damn field on us. It's a hard place to play, and they're only 7.5 point favorites.
Yeah.
So I get to see, if Texas makes it through, right? I think, and then somebody brought it up the other day. They got to play Tech, but they're playing Tech at home.
At home.
That's not going to be a problem. Now, if they're playing in Lubbock, that would be an issue. Just like Iowa State's, I think they've got a fight on their hands this week. So if Texas can come out of there, I would say the Big 12 next, and then the Pac-12 or Pac-10, whatever the hell they are. But I do like Washington. I do like Oregon. I think they're both very, very talented teams. But you got the head-to-head, and it says what it says, right? But I think the most complete team out of the Pac West, that's what I like to call them. They're Pac-10, Pac-12 at dark. I'd say it's Washington. I think Washington is the most complete team.
I love Oregon.
Both offenses are electric, I think. But I think Washington is more balanced and just has more pieces from top to bottom, all three phases. And the ACC's there. I mean, Florida State, I don't see anybody getting in their way. Maybe I'll disagree.
Yeah, I don't. No, I think, of course, SEC. I'm a big SEC homer, but how can you not be? I mean, from top to bottom, they're pretty. It's just pretty strong. Or they could say it's weak this year because it's only Alabama and Georgia.
It's just going to get stronger.
It's a strong group, man. It really is, and I'm big on the Pac-12 this year. I haven't ever been. I just don't believe in the Big Ten. I don't. There's two teams like you can say about the SEC. There's only two teams in the SEC. Well, dude, I mean Maryland, really, Wisconsin. Michigan State's horrible.
Getting better.
Michigan State's just bad. Penn State. I'd love to throw a defense in front of that Penn State quarterback.
I was down,
terrible.
unusually down this year.
Yeah.
They're not usually this bad offensively.
But they're so good defensively. Or is the Big Ten suck offensively?
I just think.
See, that's my thing.
Yeah. It's ebbs and flows.
Yeah, and the ACC is just not good.
Yeah.
I just don't.
I'm not convinced.
We need Clemson. We need Clemson to be Clemson. I mean,
No, we
college
don't.
football. College football. I mean, let's face it. I've always said college football needs Miami, Florida, and Florida State to be strong. They need Clemson. They need Texas. They need Texas A&M. The USC needs to be USC.
I have a theory
out of their ass. For it to be good college football, man. I mean, I want it to go back to let's be competitive. UCLA needs to catch up. We need them back for that rivalry and shit like that. Go ahead, Tristan.
I was just gonna say I have a theory about Clemson. I think they just had a magical few-year run at the title, and it's over. They won't be back.
It's tough to get it back after. I mean, you know how it is. After a couple,
I think they got really lucky with Deshaun, and then all of a sudden, right behind him's Trevor. I don't see it coming back.
Right, and I think Coach has made the point on other podcasts, if I'm not mistaken, but he's just not a transfer portal guy. He's all want to develop. You can't do that anymore.
No.
You
Nope.
better get your ass in there and get your dozen transfers
Yep.
from other schools that have played, and that's really hurting high school recruiting. It's hurting junior college recruiting. All those things being said, but to compete in the those Power 5 conferences, you better keep your ass in the transfer portal.
That was the question. Thank you for saying that. All right, Tristan, here it is. Dude, all right. We've all seen Last Chance U. Yeah. Come on. You knew I was going there. We've all seen Last Chance U, Coach B, and, his cussing and screaming. Hold on a minute. Hold on. Cussing and screaming and all that. I don't like the guy. I love his podcast. I really do love his podcast because he's no nonsense, no BS. I hate seeing that. I would cringe seeing it. But is it true? Is JUCO college ball that different? Is it that extreme? Is it that, just violent? Because you were there. Remind us where you were, Coach, and answer the question.
Yeah, so I think it's different state to state. Your boy, what was his name? I know him too.
I don't know, Coach.
KB or whatever.
Yeah,
JB. I know guys that know him and have worked for him at Independence, and he's overboard.
Yeah.
He's overboard on his podcast. He's just an overboard human being, period. So obviously, I'm sure those people knew he was perfect for that show, right? Perfect for that
Right.
show. Going to dog cuss everybody, those kind of things. It's a tough world in junior college football, especially in Kansas, especially in Mississippi, and I'd say thirdly in Texas, right? And then I was at a junior college at the biggest league in California, in San Diego Mesa College, right there in the heart of San Diego. So we had no problem recruiting kids because they were coming to San Diego, and or the cost of living there is really high. Tuition's actually really low, which is very strange. But we were able to get them in, and a lot of them in California are actually good students. They aren't all like just made a 16 on the ACT, right? Some of these kids actually made really good grades, or most of them are qualifiers in California. You can't really say that for Texas, Kansas,
Right.
Mississippi, Iowa, those type places. So my point to you is this: it is rougher for real in Kansas and Mississippi and so on in Texas, right? Or in Texas. Like I have a friend at Blinn. He coaches a defensive line over there, and he tells me stories, but
That's where
very
Cam
similar
Newton
to what
went.
Yeah.
Say it again.
Right down the road.
That's where
Cam Newton went.
Cam
That's
Newton
where Cam went. Yeah.
It's about 50 minutes down the road.
Yeah, I have a buddy that coaches there. Anyway, but he coached with me at San Diego Mesa. So he's like, it's not that much different. We have more guys with shit in their neck.
Yeah.
But it's not what it is in Kansas. Right. So, but yes, so the tales are the tales, right? There's things that happen, man. I can tell you, right, that we had, like one of the first weeks I'm there, right? There's this guy that's a player, and the coach that I worked for initially, I worked with at Baylor. He asked me to come in to be the DC because he struggled his first 2 years, and defense was the main problem. So I come in there to be the guy to fix it, and we did. We fixed it, went 9-2 first year. Long story short, I'm there a week, man, and there's this guy hanging out like holding court, one of our wide receivers, just smoking a joint in the middle of campus on the quad, laid up with girls, and they're all passing it around. It's not legal then yet, quite. Right? Now it is. It's full, but you still can't have it on the college campus, right?
Right.
And so we got that kind of stuff happening. I got my outside linebacker holding this guy. This is like week 2, holding him over the ledge because they're fighting over a girl. He's in the English building, and he's like got him 3 stories over. He's got him by his neck. He's holding him over.
Good Lord.
3 stories high. Like, could just take his life at any point, right? I got another player like stole a freaking computer from the science lab, trying to take it to the pawn shop. Right? You got that, but then you have the good kids, right? You have the kids that do everything right, and the kids that want to. I got a D2 scholarship, and I got a chip on my shoulder, and I'm better than that. And my Mike linebacker probably never made a freaking B in his life while he was at junior college, got an associate's degree, got a scholarship to go to Utah State his last year after going 2 years at Utah State, started for them, went to Kansas State for his last year and played there. So like there's success stories, and then you got the crappy things that go on.
Yeah.
And then grades are a constant fight with half of them, and then some of them is not so much. You know what I mean? You got drug problems, you got this problem, that problem. You got some kids that go to class, some that don't. And
That's everywhere, though.
yeah.
Yeah, I guess my thing was just from these Netflix things, they make it look just horrible.
It's not that.
They make it look like it's just bad.
It's probably bad when you're in the middle of Kansas and nothing's fun except running through a cornfield backwards.
Right.
But I don't know.
Which is what we're going to do later tonight.
San
But anyway.
Diego was fine. The Texas schools blend. I'm sure that's a great job. Trinity Valley. I mean, there's a lot of great junior college jobs that have quality kids. And nowadays, right, you just get rid of them and find another one.
Yeah. Yeah. That's crazy. All right, Coach, feet to the fire. Who's going to the playoffs? Who's going to the college playoffs, man?
Hell, I don't know.
Come on, man. Come on. Throw it out there.
Alabama, Georgia, when do they play?
2 weeks. They have the Iron Bowl first. They got to get through Auburn this week.
I ain't worried about Auburn. Whoever wins out of that game is going. I think so.
So
I
which
think
one?
so. I don't know. Is that Alabama or is it at Georgia?
Good question.
Think about your other ones. I'll find out.
Well, okay, so that brings up, does Texas survive Iowa State? Right? If Texas survives Iowa State, I think they make it. Michigan. No question, Michigan.
Bama, Georgia is a neutral field.
Yeah. Problem is there's no one to get in the way of Florida State. If not, Washington's kind of in there, right? I don't know.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Don't take advice from me on this.
He don't know.
I just think if Alabama beats Georgia and Texas loses, you better watch out because the Crimson Tide are right there.
Yeah. I think Florida State for sure is in. I think Michigan's in. Winner of Alabama, Georgia. And then if Washington's undefeated, they go Texas is out. If Oregon beats Washington, then Texas better kick the shit out of everybody else. Because if not, they're going to take Oregon. I would. So, anyway.
Oh, I hear you.
Tristan, anything else? Because we got to get to the Pick'em show, buddy.
That's it.
All right, man. Hey, thank you, everybody, for listening in. This is Coach's Call on Tap with my good friend, John Jennings, Tristan Dunn in North Carolina. Make sure you hit the like, the subscribe, and hit that little bell, man, so you can get notifications of when we do come up. Check us out on Coach's Call 0 TikTok. Check us out on Coach's Call on Twitter also. I appreciate you guys listening to this Pick'em show coming up next and get a little bit of advice and drink a couple beers with us. Till then, hope all your tickets hit. Adios.